This pepper video showcases why you want to prune your peppers initially. We also cover growing, harvesting, cooking, and winter pepper prep, a great general guide for any variety you want to grow. We will also follow along for the entire season so you can see just how easy and rewarding peppers can be. They are no fuss, no maintenance, no hand pollinating, and no problem to grow. Let's get started because it could not be any easier. Hey guys, today is June 12th, Northwest Ohio, Zone 5, and I have been transplanting the peppers out here. Now that they are in the ground and around some of this grass, we've got some holes here. And I'm gonna put some 7 dust in here, just a little bit, hopefully. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this to all of the peppers. June 22nd. Look at how well these transplanted peppers are doing. So, to prune them, what you want to do is count up 3 sets of leaves, and then right about here, you would cut. See where my finger is? You would cut right about here. Do not cut straight across. You want to cut at an angle so that that stem has an angular type roof to where the water would roll off of it if you think about it in a roofing perspective. So you want to do that at an angle so that the water will roll off and not rot out your pepper. Okay, so I just pruned this one only. Doesn't look like I did a lot to it because remember, you have to have the 3 full set of leaves. This will bush out for you. See that angle? They kind of look like the tops of basil, so you're really not seeing a lot of a cut, especially if you're on this immediately. You want them to bush out immediately so that, you can get more production out of them as soon as it happens. So this one right here, too little to do this to yet. Also the one back here, too little. So I'm going to concentrate on the rest of these 4. Here's what they look like after I've pruned them. You can't really tell so much because it was just the tips, because we are right on it. However, you can see there's a little pepper starting, along with a couple right here. Also one right there. So it does seem a little anti-productive, and it might go against your thought process to cut these when you start seeing little peppers down there like that's progress. Well, it is a progress, and it's progress to get a single stem pepper. We don't want that. These are very, very slow growing plants. So if we're gonna take the time, we need to prune them like this, bush them out. So on each one of those stalks, okay, or stems, that it's going to create multiple stems now, and we're gonna have multiple peppers. All right? You'll see what I mean when we're done. Now I'm gonna head out to the tomato bins and see what I can do out there. All right, you guys, so looking at our pepper plants out here, which are being dwarfed by the tomato plants, and that's fine, and this is fantastic companion planting. This one really is the only one, possibly this, I'll check it, that I can just nip the tops of, and I will have my 3 full sets of leaves on both sides and be able to prune this one. So that is what I'm going to do here. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. Looking at this stem right here, here's one set, Actually, here's the first set down here. This leaf got taken off, so that's set 1, set 2, set 3, and then right here where my fingernail is, I am going to cut right there, and I am going to cut at an angle. So about right here, and see how I've got a slant on my scissors? That's it. That's all you're doing. Okay, and now you can just compost this or chop and drop, whatever you like. Okay, and out here we were starting to develop little peppers as well. So you can think about it. If this is old enough to start producing fruit, then right where that fruit produces, that's probably where you need to cut and stop the growth of one so that you can have many. July 2nd, and you can see that, okay, so people are shooting off fireworks. You're gonna hear those in the background. But look at how wonderfully these are starting to bush out after we pruned and trimmed them. And I think this one and this one back here were probably the latest. So we're gonna get more peppers since we pruned. July 18th, and look at how well those pepper plants have bushed out. They are doing sensational. They're starting to get little buds on top of here. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. Oh look, 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 look. Down, oh, hang on. Look at that. Got layers of them down here. Look at that, we're gonna be jam-packed. Excellent. I have really not done anything at all with these, nothing special. I've watered them, I've weeded them lightly. They really don't need it. 7th of July, and we can start to see nice little blooms making their way up top. And we'd already had some of those sort of buried down here at the bottom. But I'm not really wanting to come in here and rummage, especially early, because I don't want to knock any of those off, because that's where our peppers are going to come from. Hey guys, August 1st, I want you to see a side-by-side of one that did not get pruned and bushed out, and one that did. Now you can also see the proof in the fact that this little pepper, which there's just one of, is much bigger than these little 3 peppers over here. See how much tinier? They're a little bit behind, but they're giving us more. So what would we like more? Would we like bigger peppers quicker? Or are we willing to wait and be patient and get more peppers out of really the same spot? August 10th. And I have spotted some peppers down here in the front. All right. Oh, I just need one more all right to be McConaughey. Look at how well these peppers are doing for us. Right, August 26th, we're looking at these peppers. You can see some here, some baby ones, some more newly developed, and we've got some down here and some back here. And you guys, there's not really too much to say at this point because peppers are pretty dang easy. This is a wonderful thing if you are brand new. The only thing you really need to do is be patient and to cut those, to push them out like we've already discussed. And then you just make sure that you give them the proper amount of water, not too much, not too little. Gotta Goldilocks the whole thing. September 3rd, and look at how loaded these peppers are down here. Gorgeous. All right, still September 3rd, and look again at our peppers that I pruned and the one that I did not prune. And it looks like I have got 3 teensy little peppers on there. And there's 3 right there at the beginning. Here's another one, another one. So, oh my God, look at all of these back here. So look at that. 3 versus, what, at least 10 to 12? It pays for you to prune these and bush these out. Look at this one over here. Look at all of that, you guys. Make sure you are pruning them, because look, oh my God, look at that great shot. Because of all the time that it's going to take, you might as well get 10 rather than 3. Makes sense, right?
Check out my Etsy shop, T-Shirt Garden Company, featuring gardening, no mow, sewing, tiny house, Zen meditation designs. Link in box below.
Alright, it's September 15th and I'm starting to get color changes in my peppers back here. And right now I am back in the tomato beds, which this huge zucchini took over. And I am just really encapsulated by that. Not cut at an angle to bush out, cut on an angle to bush out. And look at how many are in here, you guys. Look at that. And they keep on coming compared to that little amount down there. Excellent. Oh, so pleased. There's another one turning color at the back. All right, now I want to walk up front. A couple down here. Oh my God, look at them, you guys. They are so huge. They are, what, another foot up past that step. And I know a lot of it has to do with the fact that I rebuilt this soil. I've never grown peppers this big. And they are so loaded. Can you see them this way? They are loaded, they are heavy, they are leaning over. They are turning some beautiful color down here. Super, super pleased. Super pleased with rebuilding the soil as well. I have a video on that if you'd like to see how I did that. Free. Just a little bit of patience is all that took. I won't sing Guns N' Roses to you, even though it's playing in my head. Alright, you guys, so I'm going to give these to my sister. She's going to love them, the little vegetarian. It's a pretty good haul. Still got plenty in here and in the back. October 4th, and look at these peppers, you guys. So it's going to be our last nice day. Tomorrow's supposed to drop into 50 in the day. Don't know what's going on at night. I'm in zone 5, and it's probably time for me to get in here and salvage as many of these peppers as I possibly can. So, oh, great, there's a spider on that one. So that is what I'm going to need to do. Now, if you notice, I really didn't know what the name of this was, but I can tell this is one of those cute little sweet peppers that they had on that Kroger deli tray for sure. Really, everything that we talked about in here, you can apply it to almost any general pepper. That's kind of the great things about peppers. There's not like a big trick or a big secret. It is really, number one, pruning them like we already talked about, and you can see how they've bushed out. They're a little out of control. Number two, I think, is patience. That's the hardest thing for me, is the patience. And to water them properly. I pretty much just kept them moist so they wouldn't dry out. I didn't keep them soggy. If they dried out for a day, here and there, not a big deal. It's never really a bad idea for your peppers. They can handle it. But basically, I want to keep them moist. October 5th, and this is how many peppers I got just off of these 2 plants. I'm gonna go ahead, keep on picking these. Gotta clean them out because we are going to start to get frost. Look at these big ones up here. Nice. Then I'm gonna go up front. We're gonna pick all of those, or I'm gonna pick all of those. Look, these ones are starting to get yellow at the bottom. You can eat them in any color, doesn't matter. These are sweet. It's all good in the hood. Okay, there's my harvest just in the back, which is really about 4 tall ones, 2 short ones. And I'm gonna fill this bowl up with all of these over here, which definitely are tall. I want you to notice how these are leaning. When you start to take the weight off, they start to rise up a little bit more. Here's a nice yellow one in here. Let's take that one off too. Look at all of these in here, guys. So nice, so easy to pick. They come right off, they're ready, they're big enough, they're little, they're ripe. And you see, as you pick, they start to rise up a little bit more. They're not gonna go back to the original position if they're all cockeyed like this. All right, I got lots of picking to do. All right, we need to start processing these peppers. Oh my goodness, they're gonna be so good. I'm gonna get a nice little production line going on. Processing those peppers, I really just cut them in half. I took the tops off, I put them in the compost bin, and I was flicking some of the seeds and the ribs out as I went along. That didn't get everything, so I decided to use my salad spinner, spun it around, went ahead and put it in the refrigerator for a couple of days, and I only had like 3 seeds that came out, but I did have some liquid that eventually drained off in those 2 days. And I did spin this probably about 3 or 4 times just because I didn't wash them at all. So I wanted to make sure I had them nice and washed. And then I love my nicer dicer, guys. I really, really do. And if it gets some of this, it's no big deal. You can peel it off, put it back on the top. And you can see I'm not really doing anything too uniform. I'm just grabbing a handful, making sure that it stays on the disc. And just chopping it down. That's it. When this gets full, I put it over here on my cookie sheet that will actually fit into my freezer while all the items in the freezer are level. And I just kind of spread them out. I've got them on top of parchment paper. When they freeze, which only really takes a couple of hours, if you leave it overnight, it's not a big deal. And you'll just scoop it up, kind of like a taco. And you would just slide it into your baggie. I'm not going to do that because these aren't frozen and these are frozen. And you can see how many of these I've processed already. And you just Ziploc them and you store them in your freezer for whenever you need them throughout your soup and chili cooking year. Hey guys, look at how fantastic these mild yellow sweet peppers look. So instead of me just freezing these up, I decided I was gonna go ahead and make this creamy sweet pepper sauce here with half and half and Parmesan. And you can find this recipe on Barilla. And I am going to substitute the margarine for some basil because I actually grew basil myself. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Hey guys, so I doubled this recipe. So there's 4 cups of peppers, 2 cups of onion. I've let it saute for about 6 minutes. Also, there was 6 tablespoons of olive oil in here. And I need to take out 2 cups of this and I need to puree that, and I'm going to do that in the NutriBullet with a half cup of half and half. I've got the salt and pepper already mixed in here. And then I'll just need to put it back into the pan. I'm gonna add this basil. I have got this because I have made extra for the winter. This would taste fantastic with little bites of leftover Easter ham. And that's exactly what it needs. It needs a little something else to it. However, this is really easy and it uses up a lot of your garden peppers. And since I doubled it, I now have got a reserve for my winter. October 21st, and it snowed yesterday. Just little flurries for about an hour, nothing stuck. It was very surprising and alarming. But I let some of these younger ones go from a couple weeks ago, and now I'm just gonna go through, I'm gonna pull the plants out, and I am going to harvest all of these. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rip them out. I like to keep my soil right there. And I'm just gonna harvest everything that's on here. I'm gonna put it in that bowl. All right, guys, all gone, pulled up, came out great. That big massive pile I get to go through. Look at how great that one looks. So I'm just gonna go through here. I'm gonna pick them as small as I possibly can. Actually, I'm gonna pick everything because even if they are small, number one, that's really easy to get the seeds out when they're super small like that. But they're sweet. You don't need gloves to pick them. You don't need gloves to cut them. So I'm gonna take every single thing that I can. And then here's my little discard pile over here. And then I'll take them around the house and I'll put them on the compost pile. Also, guys, they come off super easy. You don't need scissors. I, however, did need scissors for that zucchini. October 22nd, day after. And look at how huge. This is my big old popcorn bowl here. Look at all of the peppers we got. Second huge batch of peppers. I'm gonna have to process all of these. Ugh, wait a minute. Yeah, we'll compost this one right here. That one slipped through. But look at that. Isn't that fantastic? So like I said, this is the second batch of a huge amount of peppers that I've got and just need to process. So I'll freeze those up.
Thank you so much for watching, and I invite you again to subscribe, as I have been gardening for over 40 years and have a lot to teach, show, grow, review, experiment with, and my favorite, a specific variety everything deep dive. So let's try new things together, mix it up, and have a glorious day.